Hello, dear friends. So, are you ready for a little bit of weekly planning? And if you're not, please get ready and get excited because we have a pretty interesting week ahead. We are going to start with the full moon, then we are going to have a little bit of emotional and creative energy with more Pisces influence and Neptune influence. And around the end of the week, we are switching to a more Mars, Aries, masculine type of energy. So we start with a little bit of ups and downs, and things are shifting through the week. So, very interesting week ahead. And we are going to talk specifically about the best things you can do on each day and how you can schedule your week so that you really get the best results. I'm also extremely excited to share with you that we are gonna host a very special event for you at the end of September. It will be a 3-day, full day immersive astrology experience, only virtual, so everyone can join us from all over the world. All of it will be recorded, and it's not just me. I'm doing this together with Astro Victor and also Astro Lada. I'm pretty sure you know them. And the three of us are gonna make the best to really offer you some great advices. Me and Victor are the main hosts. Lada is our guest, and I will personally talk about business astrology, something I haven't talked a lot about, and I'm very excited to share with you how you can work with companies' charts, how you can interpret the individual chart in terms of business decisions. So it will be amazing. Check the links below, and I would love to have you there. So I'm really excited, and let's dive into the next week prediction. First of all, on Monday, we have one of the most exciting events. We have a full moon in Aquarius and Leo. The full moons are always intense. We have like a peak level of energy, and sometimes people can get over emotional. They might overreact or kind of take things really personally. So we always need to be a little bit more cautious when we have a full moon when it comes to our reactions, our behavior. But of course, this is also a great opportunity for us to achieve something concrete, to get the visible results of our work, and also to let go of something. And specifically on this full moon, we have to consider the fact that also Mercury is having an opposition with Saturn. And what that means is that we might feel a little stuck. We might feel like we are not really moving forward, or we feel some kind of resistance or some kind of barriers or boundaries we kind of, need to cross. So what I would really recommend specifically for this full moon is think about the things that you can let go, especially when it comes to the people you communicate with. Because the moon is in Aquarius, so it means that you may reconsider the way you communicate with your peers or with your community or with your friends or other people who are important in your life. And Mercury in opposition with Saturn may also bring the need to cut something out of your life. So, very simple, very practical advice here. Take your phone and get rid of all the contacts that you haven't used in the previous 1 year. You might do this with social media, with your Facebook, Instagram, whatever you are using. Just think about who are the people or the contacts that you just don't need in your life, and literally, separate with them. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk to those people, but if you haven't called them for the past 1 year, chances are they are not that important, probably. So think about also some ideas or some concepts that you are ready to let go, something that you want to, like free your mind of. It's very constructive, it's very practical, and also very helpful because by letting go the old stuff, you are welcoming, you are allowing the new things to come. So, culmination, time to reassess things, great time to get rid of things. It could be also about your home, your office. Just try to free up the space around you. So a very interesting full moon, but as I said, we might feel a little resistance or we might feel certain challenges. So we have to be really organized, disciplined, and follow through. Then on Tuesday, we have a pretty dynamic aspect between Mars and Jupiter. Square aspect, which means that it's time for certain changes. And also, it's time to put some effort. Mars, it's always about our direction, our actions, the steps that we take. And Jupiter is more like the general concept, the strategy, the beliefs, and the goals we have. So it's probably time to reconsider some of our actions, to reevaluate our goals, and maybe change something about our strategy. This aspect can motivate you if you want to achieve something, to put even more effort, to be even more decisive and braver, and just to keep going. Mars is very strong. Mars is in Aries, Jupiter in Capricorn, not that strong. So we have to give a little more priority to the actions we take, not only to the vision or the goal as an idea, but more about which are the steps that we can take. So take even the smallest step today that will get you closer to where you want to go. Mercury also shifts signs on Tuesday. It's moving to Leo, which is not a really strong position for Mercury, because Mercury in Leo is too subjective. It could be a little bit more selfish, but this is also a great time for self-expression, to really find the words within you and to share them out loud with other people. It's also interesting because during how long has that been? Well, more than a month, maybe 2 months, Mercury spent in Cancer because it was also retrograde there. So it's kind of a significant shift. We kind of got used to having Mercury in Cancer, which was more about emotional and emotional way of thinking, more about imagination. Now with Mercury in Leo, we can get a little bit more logical, more concrete, also more courageous to express ourselves, and also for some creative activities, this position can be beneficial. Just remember, pay attention also to what other people tell you. Mercury in Leo can make us a little bit more self-centered and self-focused, and we may not necessarily pay attention to other people. So especially in negotiations, in partnerships, put a little bit more effort to really pay attention to what the other person has to say as well. And also on Tuesday, Venus having a quincunx with Saturn, which at first could bring potential challenges in relationships, in partnerships. We may need to work harder to find the compromises, but eventually things may work in our advantage and we can receive something positive out of the efforts we have put. The moon in Aquarius also supports group activities, communication with people, focusing on our ideals, and overall doing something exciting, something that would bring us more variety. Then on Wednesday, things are shifting. So we have the moon moving to Pisces, and this is always a slower energy. It's very feminine, it's very creative, it's very spiritual. So take a little time to slow down and maybe reflect or reevaluate things, focus on something more creative. And also, it's very interesting that Venus is joining the North Node. The North Node is the symbol of the future. It's the symbol of the lessons we need to learn. So think about what you can do to improve your relationships, or you may even meet someone who would be important for the future. You might have a potential partnership or even a relationship, or he may just play an important role for you. So all the people that you meet on Wednesday, work-wise, personal-wise, and in all other areas, they can be quite important. So important relationships decisions might be taken on Wednesday. And overall, the day is positive for more creative work and even for some kind of beauty procedures or something to improve your appearance, your style as well. Wednesday is great. Then on Thursday, we still have the Pisces energy, and actually, it's even more because the sun is having a big quintile with Neptune, which can bring some potential changes, also more creativity, more inspiration, desire to help other people. And pay attention that both the sun and Neptune are very strong here. The sun in Leo, the sign that it rules, Neptune in Pisces, also the sign that it rules. So both of the planets are very powerful and capable of bringing the best that they can. And this can be especially beneficial for creative projects, for anything that has to do with spirituality, and even for healing. Mars, which by the way is also extremely strong in Aries, the sign that it rules, is having a semi-sextile, so minor positive aspect with Neptune. Even better for creative activities, for anything that requires more inspiration, which requires you kind of like to put your whole heart into what you're doing. So on Thursday, don't search for the logic, for the discipline. You have to go with the flow. You have to be more flexible and really allow the inspiration and your intuition to guide you. The moon is also in Pisces, so even more of what we just said. So, a very creative, very inspirational day on Thursday, which also happens to be the birthday of my child. I just realized that. So, she will probably have a pretty interesting solar return chart. Anyway, so next on Friday, we have Venus ingressing Cancer. And this is also an interesting shift because Venus was in Gemini for quite a long time. Venus was retrograde there. So it's time for change. It's time for things to shift. Venus in Cancer can be so much nurturing and supportive and helpful. It could be a little bit too sentimental, a little bit too dramatic at times. So you may find yourself a little bit oversensitive, over emotional, but this is usually in a nice way. It could be a little childish, by the way, a little immature, but it really depends on how we use the energy. You may also spend lots of time taking care of the people you love, your kids, all the other important people in your life. And also, Mercury is having a minor challenging aspect with Neptune on Friday. So you might be a little distracted. You might need more time to concentrate. So if there's something that requires lots of attention or very concentrated focus, be very careful, or if possible, try to move it around for another day. For something creative, something that requires inspiration or this intuition, great, Friday would be amazing. But for the concentration and the focused disciplined work, it may not really work on Friday. The moon is also changing. The moon is moving to Aries, so we have much more dynamic, we have more masculine energy, time to take action, time to do something, time to take risks, to be more courageous. So Friday, and as you will see the rest of the week on Saturday and Sunday, are much more dynamic and positive for something that requires a little bit more physical energy or even like physical effort. And on Saturday, the moon is, as we said, still in Aries. So we have the dynamic masculine energy still there. There will be a square with Jupiter, which might bring some kind of frustration and the need to refocus our attention or change something about our plans. But overall, this is not a bad aspect. And there is another one which happens to be a great one. This is the trine between the moon and the sun. One of the best aspects that would increase our vitality, our energy, how we feel, how connected we feel also to the closest environment. So, really uplifting, really motivational combination. great for sports, for creative things, for anything that would allow you to express yourself, your ideas, and really do something that you would enjoy, something that would be fun, something that would be creative. And finally, on Sunday, we have like the peak state or the peak moment of the week, because the moon is joining Mars in Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries, so quite dynamic, but also sometimes challenging combination. So definitely be careful for too much risk taking, or sometimes even potential traumas, and overall for more confrontations with people. You might be more impulsive, more impatient. You may want everything right now, which sometimes is great, and in other cases it could be tricky. But overall, do something. You might feel this extra energy and you have to kind of direct it somewhere. There are also two squares, which are challenging aspects with Saturn and Pluto, and they might bring certain limitations or something we have to overcome. So overall, there might be a little bit more intensity, and we just have to be careful with this energy. So that, my friends, is the following week. As you see, we start the week in a very interesting position with the full moon, which is always, raising the energy and making things more intense. Then around the middle of the week, we have more the Pisces, the more creative, the more feminine energy, more spiritual, more inspirational. And the very end, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are back to the masculine energy. So, time to take action, to make changes, to really go for it. So, I hope that this would be helpful for you. It definitely helps me to plan my week. And I would love to hear your thoughts. What are you planning for next week? What are you most excited for? Don't forget, check out our 3-day immersive astrology experience. We would love to have you there. And also, really soon, I'm starting my free and priceless spiritual journey. It will be through Telegram. We are going to follow A Course in Miracles. You may or may not be familiar with this teaching. Both is fine. You are welcome. It will be amazing. So check the links for more information. And if you have any questions, let me know through the comments below. I always love to hear how you feel and what do you think. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week.